I've turned the recording on, guys. So we are discussing glycolysis here. Glycolysis occurs in cytoplasm. Glycolysis is all about splitting glucose into two molecules of pyruvate. You know, glucose is a six-carbon compound. If when you split it into two molecules, they both will have three carbons each, and the molecules will be called as pyruvates. Now, what happens? Phosphorylation of glucose to hexose bisphosphate, followed by splitting of hexose bisphosphate into two molecules of triose phosphate, followed by oxidation of two triose phosphate to two molecules of pyruvate. This is glycolysis. Two ATPs used up, four ATPs produced. There is a net gain of two ATPs. Two molecules of pyruvate and two reduced NAD are made. The two molecules of pyruvate and two reduced NAD, they will enter mitochondria if oxygen is available. Now the sequence of steps, how is it going about? You start with hexose, which is a six carbon sugar, glucose. It uses one ATP, it breaks the bond there and it adds the phosphate group to itself. It becomes hexose phosphate, which is having six carbons. So this is hexose phosphate having six carbons. Hexose phosphate uses one more ATP, breaks the phosphate group from there and adds it to itself and becomes hexose bisphosphate. Bis means two. Hexose bisphosphate. They both have six carbons all till now. These two steps are called as phosphorylation. Two molecules of ATPs have been used up, you can see here. Now, the hexose bisphosphate molecule splits into two molecules of triose phosphates, as mentioned here. Hexose bisphosphate splits into two molecules of triose phosphates. Triose means three carbons each. The triose phosphate molecules then produce two ATPs by substrate level phosphorylation, which means rearrangement of bonds से दो ATP produce हो जाएंगे. Two hydrogens will be removed and they will be added to NAD. Two reduced NAD will be made. You know reduction में क्या होता है? Gain of hydrogen. Then two molecules of triose phosphates will turn into various intermediates. You don't have to learn the name of the intermediates. The intermediates then eventually will make two more ATPs by substrate level phosphorylation and two molecules of pyruvate will be made eventually. So overall, what has happened? Hexose, which is a cis carbon compound, it splits into smaller compound called pyruvate, which is having three carbons. Two reduced NAD are made, two molecules of ATP are gained as net gain. Although four ATPs were produced, but since two ATPs were used initially in phosphorylation, so there is a net gain of two ATPs. This is all about glycolysis for now. Obviously, there is more regarding glycolysis, but for now, I'll just stop here because it would be too much for one class otherwise.